Alright, let's take a look at an opening of Escape the Dark Castle, a game of atmospheric adventure. When I did some lookups and some reviews and some searching, this really struck a chord with me, and it might be what I've been looking for. I have quite a few, I have about 3 tabletop kind of adventure RPG type games. All of them are fantastic. Some are more deliberate, some are more time-consuming setup, or some of them are more difficult. Some of them are perfect for single player. Some of them not so perfect. This happens to be a cooperative 1 to 4 player game, and it is designed for. This is. I'll read you the description. Escape the Dark Castle. For those of you who don't know it, I think it's a few years old. It isn't like new. It's been out for a few years, I think. 2-minute setup. Bingo, that's what I'm talking about. Simple rules, easy to learn. Bingo. There's plus number 2. That's star number 2. Social cooperative gameplay. Solo is what I'm looking for. Cooperative or social, could care less. I generally, when I play with other people, I prefer role playing. But that's not to say this wouldn't be fun with other people. But I'm looking for something to do when I'm not role playing with people. Rich atmospheric adventures, that bingo, there's star number 4, whatever. A different castle every time. Well, okay, that's fine. I mean, I'm sure you shuffle the deck and get it. Contents here, 45 chapter cards, 35 item cards, 6 character cards, 3 boss cards, 1 start card, 9 chapter dice, 6 character dice, 1 score pad, 4 pencils, 1 rule book. 30 minutes, 1 to 4 people, 14 and up. It says right down here, and I do appreciate this, Themeborn, it says right down here, this product is not a toy, not intended for the use for persons of 14 years or less. So heed that. I've seen one major site review this and complain about it because they hate the art and they it's not for everybody. Of course not, So you got to know what you're looking at. I love the art. One of the things that sold me on this is it does harken back to what I grew up doing, and that is very lethal D&D. Mostly as a GM, but I loved the idea of a lethal game that was fast and fun and challenging that I could play alone. So let's see what's inside. I went ahead. I was so confident in my in whether I would like this just from watching a couple of videos of play that I went ahead and got the Adventure Pack Box 1. I got Adventure Pack Box 2. And I got the third and final piece of this, Adventure Pack Box 3. So I do plan on playing a lot of this, especially the more I heard and read about it, and the more I looked at the art. This is just right up my alley. Cult of the Death Knight is Adventure Pack 1. Scourge of the Undead Queen is Adventure Pack 2. And Blight of the Plague Lord is Adventure Pack 3. And again, I make no apologies. I like to play with adults. I do not have children, and I like to play games that suit my mentality. They don't have to be evil, or they don't have to be dark, and they don't have to be ultra adult. But I mean, I'm not looking for family friendly necessarily, so much as I'm looking for what works for me. So I'm okay with it being what it is, right? So without further ado, let's take a look at what's inside. And again, I usually play board games by myself. That's why I like solitaire board games. When I'm with other people, I prefer we role play because it's hard enough to get good people together to do my favorite hobby, role playing. So I like my board games to be something comfortable for me when I can't get to role play, especially something that has these kind of themes. Boy, I love the box quality. There's the rule book. Again, I love this black and white. This would have been the other way if we couldn't get, if we could not get color. If we choose not to publish Dark Age of Man with some color, black and white was kind of the goal. The kind of not quite gothic, but a dark age kind of dark gothic look. We definitely made it clear to all the artists we wanted illustration. We wanted pen and ink or sketch type illustration, and so far our artists are brilliant. So this is very good. And I don't know who does the art. It looks very familiar, though. Themeborn is the name of the company here. There's probably people in the community we know that did this art, but it does look so familiar. This is an app Download the app. Track your prisoner's stats. Yeah, you're escaping a castle prison, by the way. That's the goal of the game, is escaping a castle prison. Track your prisoner's stats in a style with Escape from the Dark Castle. So you can use, this was for summer of 2020. This is an app for the game to track your prisoner. The rule book, page 5, setting up the game. Page 6, playing the game. Page 7, item cards. Page 8, combat. 10, solo play. So page 10 is solo play. And again, I love the idea that we're set up and playing in 2 minutes, and that is literally, I love simple. People should know by now. I want sophisticated but simple, if that makes sense. Right? I mean, it's not easy to get both. Let's see, arresting. So it's like a dungeon crawl, except you're trying to escape a dungeon. Combat rounds, attack, defend, combat specials, arresting, important. At least one player must fight each round. That's pretty cool. One player must fight each round. Solo play. Escape. So solo play, page 10. Ha! That's awesome. So the book is only 10 pages long. Solo play is one text block on page 10 with some loner loser with his fizzy drink. That's awesome. Escape the Dark Castle is designed to be as good with one player as it is with 4. To play solo games, simply choose any 2 characters and begin the game normal. You will make all decisions and dice rolls yourself. There are just 2 things of note. To note, you must decide which of the 2 characters is turning each chapter card before you turn it. So a character must be responsible for the turning of chapters. Any of those effects then affect that character. So make sure you know who you're dealing with when you flip the cards. When instructed to draw cards, roll dice, or do anything per player in a solo game, it should be read as per character. That's genius. Also, they make a game called Deep Space Adventure called Escape the Dark Sector, which is a sci-fi version of this game. Which, if I enjoy this, I doubt I'll get that because I bought all the extras for this. Here's the thing to keep notes for your character on. So I love that. I love the idea that this little strip of strip pads is all we do to note our character's adventure. It's pretty sweet. You put it between the character cards or something like that. We have game cards. It looks like items cards. Should have 9 dice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 9, and 6, right? Wasn't that what I wrote on the back? 9 and 6? Very cool little black pencils. I love the theme. Outstanding. There's nothing in the box. It's clean. It's in perfect shape. It is beautiful. And look how big these dice are. These are fantastic. There's no issues rolling and reading those monsters. Outstanding. Liking this thing already. Let's take a look at the cards. Yeah, just a couple of videos I watched. I didn't watch things completely through. I watched a couple. I watched one major box game role play. Excuse me, YouTube review channel, the biggest in the business, and he hated it. And I was a little disappointed in his attitude. But he has every right to hate something. But for the reasons he hated it, just kind of boggled my mind. But anyway, let's see here. So this says Healing Verses. Whenever you roll a double, you may restore 1 HP to any character. Very cool. The Fury Shard. Once per round of combat. Boy, look at the art. Now see, he complained about the art. I absolutely love this. Blacks, white, dark, hand-drawn illustrations. And this is just beautiful. To me, this is old school. And I love that feel. You know, the white on dark, the text. This is very simple, old school. And for me, this absolutely touches me. A guy who started gaming in, 78, 79. I just love it. I love the look of this. Partially Rotten Apple. You can discard to restore hit points. So these are all item cards, so that's very cool. I am going to need to put a rubber band about that. I don't like leaving cards open in a box. Okay, let's look at these big boys. This, I believe, are the characters and the chapter adventures. So this will be cool. I don't know how easy it's going to be to shuffle cards of this size. This could be it could be a real challenge to shuffle these suckers, and I can't get them. They've got a stripe here to open them, but I can't find it. Yeah, I knew almost immediately from the reviews and from the descriptions and from my research that I was going to like this game. And so I couldn't pass. I went ahead and got everything while I could get it. Let's take a look here. Turn over to begin. So there's the introduction card, apparently. Look at this. So these are all chapter cards, things that you're going to run into in the dungeon. This is amazing. So let's just randomly grab one out of here. Look at this. Now tell me that doesn't make you think of old D&D, right? Man, that's awesome. That's brilliant. This passage takes you past dark, unlocked cells. From inside the sound of bones, hands clenching steel is unmistakable. From inside, the sound of bony hands clenching steel is unmistakable. As a group, choose one option to begin combat. Charge an item, lure them out. Woo! Sweet. Yeah, these are all like encounter cards, adventure cards, trap cards, treasure cards, bosses. Oh, wait, here's the characters. So I wanted to show the characters. This is, it looks like a boss. So I'm trying to keep them in some kind of order. Here are the characters. The abbot. What's cool, again, you just look at that, you think, okay, it's just a picture. The name of him here, and there is stats. So his stats are actually scribbled on the stone blocks behind him in the portrait. So here we got a portrait of the abbot. And literally etched on the prison walls, on the stones behind him, are his statistics. His star, his strength, his vision, I think, and his name. I mean, it's so well done. Anyone who's hated this is, you know, it's just nuts to think somebody could hate this. It's so well thought out, I think. Cook, I haven't even played it yet, but I'm talking about just the art, the theme, the aesthetic. Cook, hands, vision. So again, it looks like combat, vision, and I don't know what that means. Probably spirit, I would guess, maybe the asterisk. The cook. So we got the abbot, the cook, the miller. Vision is good, fighting is good, and I'm assuming, again, one maybe hit points. I don't know, or maybe the stone is hit points. I don't know which, but the abbot, look at this dude. He looks like he's been in prison and just escaping. You know, his bad haircuts. He's got stitched head. This guy looks like he's been left for dead in the prisons a long time. That's very cool. The miller. Smith. Wow, I love it. So cool. And on the other side, by the way, just a straight black card. No art at all. Very cool. Taylor. Yeah. Tanner. And then, of course, they're all named for some vocation of the Dark Ages or of the past. And then we have, looks like monsters. Are these boss fights? The dark one, Terror of the Underworld, and the Demented Priestess. Those must be the boss cards. And you can see the number of symbols on this card. Very cool. So these must be boss cards. And then the rest are all chapter adventure cards. This might be a boss. No boss, no name on it. So the three bosses have a name at the top of the card and a lot of symbols here at the bottom. And then, of course, the rest are adventure cards to get out of the castle, to escape the castle. Very, very cool. Wow, 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 wow. I'm going to dig this for sure. Okay, so let's see what's in the other cards. Let's put this back. What goes in there? Oh, the dice were in here. This goes in. Oh, the castle notepad there. So I'm going to be sharing this for sure again, too. I always like to at least run one game. I was hoping to run a lot more folklore things. I just haven't had time. And folklore is a lot of work at times to set up and things. But that I would still recommend folklore. That video can be seen on my channel. Here we go. So this one was a must because of the setup time, the ease of play, and the difficulty. I love the idea that it is incredibly difficult to survive. That is, to me, old school D&D. There are lots of people who have an issue with the lethality of old D&D, but it's just the way it is. The role-playing games were designed for a different purpose back in the day. They weren't for you to necessarily enjoy an ego kick from your hero survivability. However, you also struggle to be, I won't say I struggle, but some people struggle to become characters and role play those. I'm okay with that. I can role play anything. for any period of time. So let's take a look here. I guess, you know, it might remind me a tiny bit. It might remind me a little bit of Lamentations of the Flame Princess, except it's not erotic. It's not, I wouldn't say erotic. It's not, what's the best term to describe Lamentations? I don't know, hard to explain it, but it does kind of remind me of Lamentations, except it's a different time period, but it definitely has an aesthetic that's very cool for me. Okay, here, the castle. This is how to use this pack. Welcome prisoner to a new dark castle. So this is a supplemental rulebook for Cult of the Death Knight. Again, an ad for their app. More dice. Oh wow! So we're gonna get. Looks like maybe new characters. Bishop. So we're gonna get the bishop, the mason, and again we have more item cards. Restless Spirit. This one's black on white. That's interesting. Okay, so that's very cool. So we must have new characters for this one. Yeah, the Mason. Check the Mason out. Dude, he looks like he's on his death's door as well. Holy cow, he's got 6 points in Fist, 1 in Star, and 1 in Vision. It looks, I think that's an eye, 1 in Vision. So this dude is strong, the Mason. Do not read until you have completed the last chapter card. Okay, so put that away. We don't want to spoil anything, but that's what comes in that set. A rule book, new characters, new dice, new cards, and item cards. So you get a sense of what comes in. And these boxes are no joke. I mean, this is high quality stuff, and they got a beautiful what do they call that? Linen, like a linen fill. So that's Adventure Pack 1. To add on to this when you've completed this. Everything I've read says it's incredibly difficult to win or survive. So most likely, I guess it's going to take a whole lot, or it's going to take a lot of strategy, a lot of luck to probably survive. So I don't know how often you'll want to add these. And I don't know, maybe you can just add all of this to this and make one gigantic game, maybe. I don't know. So I'm assuming that's what's going to be in Adventure Pack 2. It's going to be a lot like this with extra cards, extra dice, extra characters. And then, yeah, so this has 3 new characters, it looks like. Oh, wow. So they actually tell you on the back. See, it's what I get for not looking. So 3 new characters, the Hunter, the Bishop, and the Mason. Ooh. The item cards are black, 15 chapter cards, 5 curse cards, a boss card, a character card, 1 cult dice, 3 character dice, 1 rule book. A copy of Escape from the Dark Castle is required to use this pack, and that's right here, Escape from the Dark Castle. Look at this dude. His eyes have been cut out and stitched up. His mouth has been stitched. His nose is gone. And he's giving the blessing symbol with his fingers there, it looks like. Or is that his fingers? What is that? Pretty cool. Warning, this is not for kids, right? So yes, big warning there. This one is Scourge of the Undead Queen. This one, of course, comes with 2 Oh, wow. Look at the character cards here. Much more sophisticated. It's like they changed the game here for these guys. 15 chapter cards, 1 boss card, 2 item cards, 3 companion cards. So they added companion cards, companion dice. So we go characters, companions are added in this. And then we get to the 3rd and final adventure pack. That's pretty cool. So they added rules for companions. And then this one, back to characters. Chapter cards, boss card, 4 item cards, 3 character cards, 3 character dice, plague cards, plague die, and a rule book for the 3rd set. Outstanding. So, if you weren't interested in companion rules, you could probably skip Scourge of the Undead Queen and just go with these 2 with this, and everything would stay pretty much intact. This clearly adds companions, which is interesting. Scourge of the Undead is an expansion pack for Escape from the Dark Castle, including new rules and content to expand and deepen your adventures. So, the 2nd set adds companions. Okay, there you have it. I just wanted to share this. This was the last thing I had ordered in the last, and for the most part, I'm done. I got some of the solitaire war games that I really wanted to get while they were on sale, while they were cheap, and then I have been debating between this and a couple of other big-time adventure / role-playing board games that could be played, specifically solitaire. I wanted the challenge, and I wanted it to feel kind of like a dungeon crawl, like D&D. Not so much like high fantasy, not so much like what D&D turned into, but what I grew up with, which was a lethal. Again, I obviously no sense here of elves and dwarves, etc. This is all human centric and gothic, kind of, as I said, as I would dare suggest, kind of a Lamentations of the Flame Princess kind of aesthetic, but just not so evocative. The art is not so, again, I don't want to say sexual, but you know what I mean. So anyway, there it is. Thanks for watching. Good day.